This video is brought to you by Bookmark.com. Bookmark's a free website builder where you can create a professional-looking website with hosting in just a couple minutes by answering 7 simple questions. Bookmark's AI engine, Ada, literally builds your website right in front of your face in less than 2 minutes, and you can edit virtually every aspect of the page once it's complete. You can also upgrade to connect your existing domain and create an online store with e-commerce integration. It's awesome. Click the link in the description below or check them out at Bookmark.com.
Yo, I'm Brian P. You're watching Bad Seed Tech, and today we're taking a look at the Nari wireless gaming headset from Razer. So this is a wireless headset utilizing THX spatial audio, and it sits right in the middle of the Nari range. It offers RGB, better mic implementation, and larger drivers than in the Nari Essential, and it's lacking the haptic feedback or hypersense of the Nari Ultimate, which after reviewing this one I'd be really interested in checking out. These retail for $150 US, so they're going to square up against the SteelSeries Arctis 7 wireless and the HyperX Cloud Flight. They do share some similarities with the Kraken Tournament Edition, which I previously reviewed. You can check that out right up here, mostly in the ear cup and software implementation, but the frame is a completely different design. This is a suspension-based headband under a lightweight aluminum frame. Normally, I'm not a big fan of designs like this, but the tension on this thing is just perfect for me. It even fits my unusually tall head measurements with no sweat. The frame surrounding the ear cups is plastic, presumably to keep weight down, and they do have a 90-degree swivel, so they'll sit flat on your desk, or you can wear them on your shoulders. Even though the ear pads on these things are super thick, you can still wear them really comfortably like this. Yes, these things do look truly massive on the head, as you often run into a lot with wireless headsets, but despite tipping the scales at over 420 grams, they don't really feel heavy on my head, even after extended use. The oval ear cups themselves here seem very similar to what we saw in the Kraken Tournament Edition, so you've got all the same awesome stuff. You've got that microfiber material where it makes contact with your skin, the near perfect memory foam, plus you got the cooling gel layer and the little indentation, little channel there for your eyeglass stems. I love these on the Kraken headset, and I love them even more here. This headset is insane comfortable and provides a way better seal for both sound isolation and for leakage than the TE. I literally go, every time I put these things on. On the left ear cup, you've got your retractable mic, which actually retracts a little further up into the ear cup on this version, plus controls for chat mix, power, and mic mute. Mic mute active will light a little red LED ring around the tip of the mic itself. On the right side, you've got a wheel for volume, and this is also where the 2.4 gigahertz dongle is stored. It's a little fiddly to get out sometimes, but it always scores big points with me when the transceiver is stored on the device itself.
All right, we're going to jump in real quick and talk about mic quality. Now, like the Kraken TE we saw, it's not going to sound the best out of the box in its stock configuration. The reason why is because Synapse has like this auto mic sensitivity that really squashes lower parts of your speaking voice. So what you get when you talk normally is this really strange like pumping in and out effect where whole parts of your sentence wind up missing. What you want to do to fight that is set the mic sensitivity to manual and just set that all the way to 100. That's the only way to go about it. You can combat some of the clipping depending on how loud you talk by keeping your overall mic volume set at around 85, and stay away from anything in the enhancements category, including the volume normalization, which sounds like it would help out with this whole volume situation, but it doesn't. It actually strips all the bass out of the voice and really degrades the audio signal, as does everything over in that enhancements category. Just leave all that stuff alone. It just sounds way over processed. Now, the problem with this mode is that you're going to have the least amount of background noise reduction. So I'm going to type on some Cherry MX Reds here to get a feel for that. So you can hear it's doing a pretty good job of canceling out the noise. Not a terrific job. Let's check out Noise Floor. It's USB, it's wireless, so it's pretty quiet versus a wired connection. I would say that this mic bests the HS70 from Corsair. This is better than that. It's kind of on par with, but different than the Cloud Flight. The Cloud Flight has a lot more bass. It's a lot more boomy, but I would say the Arctis 7 mic easily tops this microphone.
The outside of the ear cups feature this black mesh insert that we see on a lot of Razer's designs. It looks really handsome here in black, and the logo is RGB because of course it is. It does static, color cycling, and breathing, and it's chroma enabled so you can sync it up with other Razer devices. The wireless here on offer is 2.4 gigahertz, no Bluetooth, so if you're going to be using this with any kind of external device, be aware you're going to be using that in a wired mode. I didn't have any issues with interference, even using 2 other 2.4 gigahertz wireless mice on my desktop. There's no perceivable lag, and the range is awesome. The distance between my main desk and the rearmost storage closet in my space is about 24 feet. It's behind 2 walls, and an HVAC system, and I had no issues whatsoever. You can also use the Nari wired if you have a DAC amp on your desk, and the audio quality sounds fuller and more impressive than it does in wireless mode, and it already sounds pretty good in wireless mode. Due to its low impedance, you can also use this thing wired to a Note 9 or an Xbox controller, and it works no sweat. For console compatibility, you can use this wirelessly, but with the PS4 only, and with the caveat that there's no surround sound. It's going to be stereo only, and also if it matters to you, your RGB is going to be locked to a static color. The good news is that there's plenty of volume overhead, and there's no wireless lag. In Red Dead Redemption 2, the max volume was a little higher than I would like in some places, which is a refreshing change for the PS4, and the stereo imaging was spot on. In nighttime gunfights, I had no trouble at all picking out targets just based off audio alone. As for battery life, Razer rates it at 14 hours with lighting enabled and 20 hours with the lighting off. I'd say that's about spot on. I tested it the entire time with the RGB on. For charging, got a mini USB port with its own braided charging cable, and it goes from dead empty to ready to go in about 4 hours. And like most every wireless headset, it doesn't use any power at all if you're using it in a wired mode. I'm not sure it's advisable or good for the battery, but you can technically still play while it's charging if you have a couple spare USB ports around. Just be aware that you are going to be tethered while that's charging, because you'll have the charging cable plugged into a USB, and you'll still have to use the wireless dongle at the same time. Again, THX Spatial is not winning any points with me here. Please check out the review on the Kraken TE if you'd like me to go into a little more detail about what that is. Interestingly enough here, there is no toggle for surround sound on the cans themselves. If you want to activate it, you have to tab out into Synapse, activate surround sound software, and then tab back into your game. It's a really weird omission. Outside of that, the sound quality on the Nari is much more impressive than what I saw on the Kraken TE. The driver's here at 50mm with a range of 20 to 20,000 hertz and an impedance of 32 ohms. The biggest compliment I can give here is that I took it out of the box, I put it on my head, and I never felt the need to go into the EQ settings to adjust anything. The Nari sounds great and balanced right out of the box with a big emphasis on low end, but still maintaining balance. There is separate bass boost adjustment inside the Synapse software. I found it to be pretty overpowering and upset the mix a little bit, but everybody's tastes are a little different. I really don't mean to be short here, but I usually only go on and on about the sound quality if there's something I have to explain or nitpick, and there's just not here. It just sounds good. All in all, I'm very impressed with the Nari Wireless. This one actually did blow me away. For $150, I'm putting it over the Arctis 7 and the Cloud Flight. Hear me out. Its feature set is on par with the Arctis 7, but it has the ability to conform to a much wider range of heads, and the ear pads are more comfortable. And it just sounds better for me with a fuller low end that's more immersive, but still you can go into the EQ and accent the highs if you want to emphasize footsteps. Now, as for the Cloud Flight, I am going to have to give the audio edge to the Flight. They just do it really well. But the Flight lacks any gaming convenience features whatsoever. So while you don't have any software, you also don't get stuff like chat mix, which I love, side tone, which I love. You can't even use the microphone if it's plugged in wired to your phone. The Cloud Flight is as basic as it gets for a wireless headset. And I hardly ever mention the Logitech G33 in conversations like this, because despite doing a lot of things right, it is the single most uncomfortable headset I've ever owned, and that renders it unusable for me. Matter of fact, the only reason why the Nari is not finding a permanent home on my main desk is because the wireless system I use there costs over 2.5 times as much as this unit and has Bluetooth integration. In my mind, that's the only thing missing from this headset. Really, I hate to gush here. I mean, I'm not a fan of the THX Spatial at all. It's a miss for me. I'm not the biggest fan of the Synapse software, and yeah, this thing's so big you would never catch me dead wearing it outside the house. But for $150, the Nari just does so much right here. It's insanely comfortable, it's feature-packed, and the sound quality is solid for a wireless headset. Big thanks to Razer for sending this out for review. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I will leave an affiliate link in the description if you'd like to grab one of these for yourself. And that's it for this time. I'm Brian P. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that sub button, and until next time, stay up.